Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Ryan Rice. On this episode, we're going to get the Boonedox Landing Gear onto our Nucanoe Unlimited. So previously, I was using the Yak Attack Bunkster cart to get my kayak from my truck or from my trailer to the water. The carts work great, but with the weight I have in the back of the kayak, it's kind of awkward with the Nucanoe because it's kind of tipsy when you're trying to load it, and I'm getting older. I'm not as strong as I was when I was a kid, so picking this thing up from that rear handle, I have to take the motor off it and pick it up and put it on the cart, and a lot of times it's cold out and it's just getting a little bit more difficult for me. So I'm like, you know what? It's time for the Boonedox again. I have the Boonedox on my Hobie. This is my third Boonedox. I've had two Hobies with the Boonedox landing gear on it, and this is my third set of Boonedox I'm putting on the Nucanoe. I have a few items I need to relocate, but I just want to show you the Boonedox landing gear real quick. It comes with, and I do apologize if you hear any noise in the background, there's a storm coming through. It seems like every time I do filming in the garage, there's a storm coming through. But, you know, when you have limited time, you guys fit it in when you can. But the Boonedox landing gear has these hard plastic wheels, and it's got a rubber coating on the outside. They're pretty much all the same. I'm going to leave the link in the description for these items specifically for the Nucanoe because you need to get a few certain parts to work with the Unlimited. But it's a bar, you got your wheels, and you got storage legs that the wheels attach to, and they basically fold up and they stay on your kayak, so you don't have to take them back to your truck. You just slide them in and you put them on your kayak itself and go out in the water. It's a great idea, and all you got to do is pick up on one side and slide it in, and then pick up the other side of the kayak and slide it in. It makes it a lot easier than trying to pick up the whole kayak on a cart. To do the Boonedox on the Nucanoe, you need the Groovy landing gear track kit, and the track kit is what works with the Boonedox landing gear adapter plate, and that plate rests across both this track and this track. But let me get this stuff that I have to move out of the way, and then I'll start going into the detail of how you put this together onto the Nucanoe with the parts. But like I said, all these two items here, I will leave a link in the description for these parts that work with this. But as you can see, I need to get rid of my anchor wizard. I need to remove my black pack. And I'm probably going to have to go to a smaller black pack to fit inside the tank well. I'm not sure yet, but we're going to see after we get this on there. But let's get these items removed and let's get into the install. So to be honest with you, I wasn't going to get the Boonedox to begin with because I just love them. I've had them on both of my Hobies and they work great. But the reason why I didn't use the Boonedox at the beginning when I bought the Nucanoe is because I wanted the larger black pack. And with the tank well, if you can look here, in the tank well of the Nucanoe, the 16 by 16 black pack will fit here, but it won't fit back here because it tapers back, as you can see here. So really, you only can fit the 13 by 16 or the 13 by 13 in this area. After I set it up and get this plate that comes with the adapter, which rests, you can see across this top piece of track here and the bottom track, I guess that they had to come up with this solution just to be able to handle the weight instead of just being on one piece of track for this. They say it's only rated for 75 pounds of cargo, so obviously you're not taking all the weight of your kayak on these wheels, but there is a weight limit on the adapter plate from Nucanoe at 75 pounds. I hope that they underestimated it and it could hold a little bit more, and your Boonedox itself is rated for 180 pounds. But I know you're not taking all the weight of the kayak on these plates, you know, on the back portion of your kayak, because you're only picking up and supporting really the back half of your kayak and some of the front weight. But these are rated for 75 pounds. But once I get this plate mounted on here and the bar across, we're going to see. I may still be able to squeeze the 16 by 16 black pack in here. If not, I'm going to have to get the 13 by 16 and make it work. Now that I've been on the kayak long enough with these track packs here, I can get away with a smaller black pack, and it's all worth the sacrifice to have the smaller crate because I can store things underneath my seat to be able to have these wheels and just easily store them, take the kayak to the water, put them up, put them on the kayak, which I'll show you here in a minute when this is all put together, and just go out in the water, come back. I don't have to go walk back up to my truck and get the wheels in the cart. And this is a lot easier for one person to do by yourself than picking this kayak, the whole back weight of this with the motor and everything up with just this handle here onto the cart itself. It's doable, but it's better for the younger bucks out there. I will say though, it's getting me hard to say that out loud, that I'm not as strong as I used to be. It sucks getting old. So they give you all the parts you need to do this job. First thing we got to do is we got to attach the gussets to the knuckles that come with the Boonedox from the parts from the Nucanoe adapter kit number 2630. So we're going to start with that, and then we're going to get into mounting those plates. But you got to mount the gussets to this first to put the screws in the plate before you put the screws on the kayak. Now with this kit, all you're really going to need is probably some different Allen keys, sizes, and maybe a Phillips head or a multi-bit screwdriver to put this together. Now they do give you Loctite with the kit from Boonedox itself. I suggest using it. I've used it on all my previous landing gear, and I've never had an issue with anything coming loose. I've actually never even rechecked any of the fittings because nothing ever came loose. You would tell if something's rattling or coming loose in general. So to attach the gussets, you need to do your little screw, 1/4 screw. You have a lock washer and a flat washer. That's going to go through your gusset. You got 2 holes up top. 2 of the holes go to the actual knuckle itself. Make sure you leave these access to these screw holes right there. That's your set screws once you set everything. But that's going to get attached to there with your track nuts. Everything's stainless steel. Just slide your track nuts into the knuckle and loosely attach these for now so we can make adjustments onto the steel plate and get that hardware mounted next. So this is what it looks like when you have it loosely together. You got the 2 track nuts, lock nuts, washers, or not lock nuts, lock washers, flat washers, and the hex head screws. So now we are going to get this set onto the plate, which you can see there's these 2 pre-drilled holes here that this is going to sit on. So you got to mount this into the bottom plate before you actually mount this onto the kayak itself. That's why they want you to start with this route. Get your bar in between, and you just start locking things together, but I'll show you. So like I said before, when I said we probably don't have to drill, well, we do. This is a little bit of quality control, Nucanoe. This hardware, the stainless steel hardware that I'm supposed to use to mount the knuckles to the plate are 5/16, but you've only sent 1/4 nylon nuts. So unfortunately, I'm going to drill this plate because I can't wait and I need to get these wheels done. I'm going to drill this out with 3/8 hardware for now. Maybe later on I'll just go get some stainless steel hardware to mount these. But just so you know, you're sending out 1/4 nuts, nylon nuts, with 5/16 larger screws to mount these knuckles to the plate. Quality control, guys. So instead of drilling these plates out, I found some stainless steel 1/4 hardware right now I'll use. To be honest with you, 1/4 will probably work just fine. I'll never probably have to change them out, but we will maybe get some 5/16 hardware down the line. But really, your shear strength of a 1/4 bolt is a lot more than what's needed anyway. So we'll go with that for now, and if I see any potential problems, we'll change it out. Nucanoe, start checking on your quality control when you ship out parts, because most people wouldn't probably do what I'm doing right now. And they'll be reaching out to you saying that they can't put it together because they're missing parts, yada, yada, yada. And they'll probably be a little upset. But me, I adapt. So now we're going to attach these to this. We'll get this step done, and we will be back. So even though I'm only using 1/4, I do have some larger backing washers on these holes because the holes are made for a 5/16 screw or bolt, whatever you want to call it, but I'm only using the 1/4, so I'm making sure that I am putting a larger washer on the back side, which I had some stainless steel washers laying around. Pretty much I have some 1/4 hardware that I keep with me at all times on my truck, because most of your things on a kayak, everything like your track nuts, everything's quarter 20. So I figure it's always good having some stainless steel stuff as extra hardware when you're on the road. So that's why the reason I had this hardware handy right now. You know, because pretty much quarter 20 covers you on almost everything that you need on a kayak, especially with your track nuts. And quarter 20 is strong enough, but you know, they wanted 5/16 through this plate. Like I said, you probably don't need it. I probably never go back and change it out, but I'm just letting you know I'm using the back washer on the back side of this plate. If you run into the same problem and you got to run to the local hardware store and all they have is quarter 20, just make sure you get a backing washer. So the rest is pretty much straightforward. You got T-bolts. They give you these nice thumb screws from Nucanoe. These are the new ones with the actual inserts that they started making themselves to screw them on a lot easier and faster. Once you get that in there and you get the bar in between, which is our bar is floating here somewhere once I could find it. So anyway, we found our bar. We're going to stick our bar in, and you want to make sure you stick the bar with the track on the top to match this. This way you can mount accessories, which I'll probably be using, because now that I had to remove my anchor wizard, I'll probably be attaching to this for my anchor point now and whatever else. And then we're going to see if we need to change up our black pack or not. So I'll probably do a little bit of a time lapse here. We're going to get these track nuts or the track T-bolts into the tracks here, get our thumb screws down, do a couple measurements, make sure it's placed right, and then we're going to tighten up all this hardware along here and our set screws on the bar itself. Make sure your sets, your bars are evenly spaced inside of this itself, and then we'll just put the wheels on, and these are the bars that go in, and we'll kind of show you, if you haven't seen the Boonedox Landing Gear, what it overall looks like on the kayak and how it works. And one thing about the bar, these are your set screws. Make sure that your bar is making contact with both of the set screw openings. So you don't want to be too short and you don't want to be too long. Just make sure that that set screw is making contact so you can tighten up the bar on this. So make sure everything's all evenly spaced. So what I did is I made sure that the knuckles were even with the outside of this plate. I didn't read the instructions. You should probably figure it probably would be that way, but you want to make sure that when you insert these, that the wheels will clear, the arms themselves will clear this. But to me, it's just aesthetics anyway too as well. So I made sure this plate and the knuckle was flat. I also made sure I pushed the plate all the way up to the front of this little piece of track, just because I figure it's right here on the edge. It'd be a little bit more support from the closer screw, and I'm hoping that I can fit the black pack 16 by 16 still behind here, but I don't think it's going to work. And at the same time, one good thing about these thumb screws is that if I need to remove this when I set up the tandem, here goes the lights because of the storm, if I need to remove these because of the tandem setup, I can take these wheels off to be able to slide my seat back even farther if needed. But we'll see how this all works out. But these thumb screws are a great asset to this whole setup here, which I like. It's quick and easy removable. That's what makes this whole track system on this Nucanoe pretty cool. So all we got left to do is to put the wheels together. And I'm going to show you how this whole thing works real quick. And then we're going to see if the black pack fits. And then I got to get everything back together yet, how I like it, because it's kind of changing how I have all my gear set up now on my kayak. So to stick the wheels on, all you got is just these quick little U-bolt basically pins, and you got the same looking wheel on both sides. So you got these little quick pins in case you need to take the wheels off easily. And what's nice about Boonedox wheels is that they actually have kits for like sand wheels. And I thought about maybe possibly getting those because they're like I think Jeff has them on his, Jeff Little. But these here are, this whole thing kind of squishes down and makes it a little bit better on rough conditions the bill had that little bit of a softer tire, which is like basically a sand tire. So you stick that pin in there, you stick the other pin on, and you have a wheel. So now that the wheels are together, like I said, these come with quick pins, real easy to take them on and off. All you got to do, that's it, guys. So that's how they look like installed. And they give you these bungees too that you can like wrap around the tire. And they kind of go in between the two tires basically with the hooks that hold these together off the pins. So like when you're transporting it down the road, this will kind of stay in the back of your truck. But being I'm in the back of my truck now, even on the trailer, I would just take these out and stick them in the bed of your truck, or, you know, in the drawer system like I have with the deck, or inside your truck. But definitely do not go down the road with these sitting in there, because if this goes flying out, you could cause a major serious accident or end up killing somebody in an accident. You don't want to do that. So take these out for sure. So we're going to do one little final walk around here. And I did want to confirm that I wasn't lying, but included hardware with the Nucanoe Boonedox Landing Gear adapter number 2630. Included hardware: 4 5/16 3/4 bolts, 4 5/16 washers, and 4 lock nuts, which is your nylon nuts. And unfortunately, they sent me all 1/4 nuts. So I wasn't wrong. I didn't miss them. They just sent the wrong nuts. But let's walk around here real quick and do a final walk around, walk through, whatever you want to say, of the Boonedox Landing Gear. So here's your plate. You can see the hardware I used to adapt. No big deal. Still found stainless steel. This gives you the ability with this Boonedox Landing Gear to have all this gear track here. Before I get off this video, I'm going to see, I'll probably mount my Anchor Wizard on top here now, instead of how I had it before down here. I actually had it on this track. Other stuff will go around there, but I'll show you that before we get off this video. But anyway, yes, walking around this, you can see this has thumb screws and it mounts to the upper and lower track. Now you can move these wheels back a little bit if you want. I'm sure it's the back of this plate on the upper plate, and you won't have a problem. But the wheels store, and all you got to do is, when they're in your truck or on your trailer or on the ground, is literally just pull this out, which I'm trying to do this one-handed for you. Stick it in, and you can see it sticks down past your kayak. You walk it to the water, stick it up, and it stores when you go out on the water. They just stay with you on the water. This is where you can use the bungee if you want in between the two wheels so you don't lose them. I've never had that problem. I have this set up on my Hobie and never had that problem before. Being that these are new and a little looser than they used to, because I know this used to be tight and it was a pain to get these wheels in and out sometimes. So it looks like they made a little bit more slack and play in these, which is good. I may just run, or just at least tie the wheels off to maybe my black pack, or maybe a tie down here or something, just for security maybe. But we'll find out when the time comes. Probably not. I just say things like that just so you guys are safe. You know, they say, you know, do as you say, not as you do, or whatever. That's how the saying goes. This is my third set of Boonedox Landing Gear. This is on the Nucanoe. They came out with this adapter plate to make this install simple. Very clean design and an easy way to remove with just these thumb screws. Now the Hobie, you have to drill through here, put a black backing plate on, and they're pretty much a permanent install. You can leave the bar, leave the wheels off it, but you're not removing this plate without having holes in your kayak. So you have to probably do a little bit of patchwork if you want to completely remove them. But with this Nucanoe, everything is just cut and dry and easy on and off if you want to take these, ever want to take these off your kayak. If you're going to sell your Nucanoe, you can keep these wheels for your new Nucanoe, which is awesome. So you're not spending that money twice. That is a huge, huge deal, because the price of these wheels, I'm going to tell you, are $300. The adapter plate's another $100. So you're looking at $400. But this $400 saves you a ton of aggravation. It saves your back. It makes it so much more enjoyable to launch your kayak that you're going to want to go out and do this. So overall, these are totally worth the money. These are, like I said, $300 and $100 for the adapter plate. That's $400. The Yak Attack Bunkster cart is $180, so it's about $200. So really, these wheels, which are stainless steel, arms and aluminum bar is $100 basically more than the cart itself. And yes, you have to buy the adapter plate. But these wheels themselves is also for the natives and all that with the tracks. And a lot of times you don't have to buy the adapter plate, so you're just buying the wheels. Now, unless something drastically changes with the Nucanoe, you're buying this setup one time. And even with this plate here, if they, the rails got a little closer, etc., you could always just drill some new holes in here if you have to and make it work. So let's get this kayak set back up. How I need to do it since I removed some items here. You're going to see the final setup. Only thing I'm not going to do in this video is finish putting the Yak Attack black pack together. Same thing. I have a video on this. Is right here is I have a port to charge my camera, so I'm going to do that on this one as well for the Nucanoe battery. So I'm going to do that on this one, and I'll probably steal 2 rod holders from this one, being this one only comes with 4. I'm going to need at least 5 or 6 to put back on here, so it's going to be a little tight, but we'll make it work. All right, so we got our anchor wizard mounted back onto the top part of the knuckle. And it actually works out very well with lining up. My Torpedo battery still fits fine behind the seat like I had it. The black pack sitting sideways here. I don't know with the latches being next to my catch board mounted on top using the Yak Attack paddle holders I use to hold the catch board. It may be in the way of the latches on the black pack itself, so I may turn this longwise and hinge it this way, but I kind of like it this way because it kind of stays tighter inside the kayak. I'm just going to scan along here just to see the few other things that, if you haven't seen my walkthrough in the Nucanoe, don't mind it. It's in the middle of construction here. I'm doing all sorts of things, but you can see up here I got the track packs from Yak Attack added recently, and I do have the divider trays and this track pack itself. I kind of did a short video on it, so now they had these where you can throw some hard baits in there as well, but it mounts to the track up here. We have the Torpedo, which has the mount there, but I have a full walkthrough on this. I just kind of want to walk around here for you a bit and just show you kind of what this kayak looks like. Hope you guys like this video. The install is 1, 2, 3 if you have the proper hardware from Nucanoe. So if Nucanoe, you're watching this, please make sure that you send out the 5/16 nuts with the 5/16 screws so people don't have to run out, buy the hardware, and get aggravated and say a bad review about something that doesn't deserve it. But that's it, guys. It's a very simple install. Best thing about this is that these come with the thumb screws, which are now the nice new ones that are threaded. And you can just move this from Nucanoe you can move it from the Nucanoe Unlimited to another one without buying another set of wheels, which saves you a ton of money down the line. And these wheels work awesome. I can vouch for that on 2 of my previous Hobie PA14s, which weigh about another 40-ish pounds more than this kayak, and they work super nice. It's actually sitting right over there right now underneath. These wheels are great. They are worth the money. They last forever. Why not put them on? This helps save the aggravation and making it so much more easy to load and unload your kayak to the water. I will put the links in the description for this kit for the 2 pieces that you need from Boonedox themselves and Nucanoe. With this Groovy landing gear and this track on top here, you have the availability to mount whatever you want that you can fit behind your seat and have some fun with it, guys. So as always, be safe on the water, and I'll catch you guys in the water. See you soon.